Afternoon, folks. Me and Jess. We're heading down to the river. Bit of a walk through the bush, but we won't be too long. We'll be there. And if my eyes serve me correctly, there it is. Yeehaw. And so now we're trying to find a camera. It's in here somewhere. Rob's gone over that way. And Jess has followed. It's not too far in though, so shouldn't take us too long to relocate it. We've got some pretty average weather today down south here of Hobart, but you know, there's patchy sunshine in between the rain. Got a bit of a rainbow going on here right now, so that might be a good sign. Checked one camera last night, not too much on there at all, just mainly paddy melons. A couple of quadrupeds in there, and I think they were either cats or quolls, but we'll share them with you a bit later on and show you those. But yeah, we've begun in earnest, and after smashing out some brekkie on the old wood oven, it's a Ever Hot 150, and it's a cracker. Works a treat. Did a good roast in there last night. We've got one more card to check here now, and then back up the hill to find the other camera and check that one, so we'll keep you posted. So cool to find a wedge-tailed eagle nest up here. Explains why there was two of them hanging around that day wanting to eat Jess. This is their home. So this is a baby paddy melon by the looks of it, that's been eaten and dumped out of there. And you got a feather over there, have you? Eagle feather. So it's not a baby eagle, so that's good. There'll be quite a few things expelled from that nest. Yeah, right. But there should be a fair amount of drop, and you can see there's droppings all over here. Look, on top of the ferns. So we've been here just overnight to check a couple of cameras down here south of Hobart. Jess has had a bit of fun tearing around the place, and she's now calmly strapped in the car. So we can head off now, and we've gone through a couple of cards. We've got one that's full of video, and there's over 500 videos on there, so we're going to take that back and do that at base, which will probably be at home. But yeah, we're going to head back and go through that one. So we'll catch up with you soon when we're going through that. Bye for now. Here's, ladies and gentlemen, our quarry. Camera 44, I think. Pretty sure that's camera 44 right there. Let's see what she's got for us. This is what's commonly known as a root plate for a tree. So that's the whole basal root system that keeps it firmly planted in the ground. Now this Bubiala, I think this one's alive still. Hard to tell. There's a mixture of Bubialas there. This one might be dead actually. But yeah, look at that, instant lair. Anything could hide in there. And leave its joeys there while it's out hunting and doing things, if you know what I mean. So, you know, there's so much habitat. And this is land that's been cleared and turned into forestry farming. So There's so much potential habitat still. Stay. Just get Jess to stay there. We can have a look at these prints. I reckon these are wombat. They've got short little steps. You just see them there in the shadow. A few more over here. Definitely quadruped. Stay. Stay, Jess. We can look at these before she trumps us all over them. Stay! Every time I turn my back, she comes closer. Stay! Sit! Sit! Good dog. And there she goes. So let's have a look at these over here. There's some they're an interesting angle for wallaby. That nectar from those melaleucas sure smells good. This one quadruped with a bit of detail. This is interesting. 4 prints in sets. That's very interesting. And there's another 4 prints in sets there. That's something running. This is a good spot. Look. What have we got here? Could be rabbits. Rabbits do that. Could be rabbits running around here. By all means, but here's something with a bit of detail. Now look at that. That ain't a rabbit. There it is again. Could be devil. It's pretty wide splayed. It's done a U-turn here. They're good. They've got great detail. I'm going to say they're devil. And some more. These are interesting too. Again. Wide splayed toes. Here's a kangaroo wallaby dragging its tail. There's one hopping, going a bit faster, taking off. There's one that's tail just hit there a little bit. Good detail though. This is why we came down the river, folks, to look for prints in the sand. There's just prints there. Where did we leave the boots? Oh, the boots. The boots are way over yonder, but we'll get to them. This massive boulder here. Lots of fern growing all over it, and then right up the top there you can just see a whole heap of orchids in bud. Just there in the foreground. Some more just here on this one as well. They look like they're finished. I guess this is what you call nature conquering man. Just picking up the polystyrene box and growing with it. This is what happens when you wear inappropriate clothing in the bush. And the weeds are seeding. Oh, and here's Jess. Good girl. Get a drink. A bit warm. You gonna come out? That's Jess's contribution to the morning's effort. Lots of spider webs in here. Sorry for Jess, she's short. But for me, I am constantly covered in spiders in here. It's a bit weird. Straight away. 1, 2, 3, 4. Decent size, probably an adult. So, get this open, get the card out, check the batteries, and see how we've gone. Anyway, this spot, it's actually not far from a road crossing at the top of a hill where there's about, I know of at least 6 sightings up there. And then some people I know lived about maybe 1 kilometre away from here to the east. They've moved now. But last year and the year before in winter they were hearing yips through the paddocks, not far from their house. There's a lot of farmland around their house where they were living. I think they still come through this area, but it's probably more of a winter thing for hunting. But who knows, they could be here every month, just not always making a noise and not always being heard. But we might camp in here at some point and spend a few nights here and just see what happens, see what we can pick up on the Zoom microphone and see if we can get some more noises. So I've just come across this bit of scat here, which was pretty hard to see in this dolomite because it's basically the same colour, but as you can see it's quite large. That's about 3/4 of an inch across, so we're looking at somewhere around 18 to 20 mils across in diameter, which puts it in a larger size. There's several claws in here, so it's definitely carnivore scat. So we'll collect this and keep this for testing later on. But yeah, it's a decent size. Could be devil, could be quoll. Don't think it's an owl pellet. Or an eagle pellet, but definitely worth a look at anyway. Ooh, it's fresh. Look out, here it is. Imagine. Give me right, Jess. You can see the high ground there. As long as there's not too much water coming down the system this afternoon, we'll be fine. Didn't rain that much yesterday. But we got our beacon with us anyway if we get stuck. Lucky, eh? You come around here. See these. I think they're just dying of old age. They're claiming climate change, but I don't think so. But the arborists have been in and pruned them to try and stimulate some growth, but I think they're pretty well had at these trees. They've been here a long time. Look at the burl on that one. It's a monster. But they are stunning. This old girl here was 96 metres high. These are Australian water hens, and they are on the run. Oh, one's taken off. Still got two running. They are running. Oh, another one's taken off. Only one left on the road. He's going to take off into the bush. Oh, and there's a paddy melon as well. Here is the spot of a historical sighting that happened twice in this area. Just over there, I believe, or over there. But a council worker, I think years ago, saw thylacines twice in this spot. And this is now forestry land, private holdings. But what a magic spot, not far from the Tasman highway. And nice and quiet and very isolated. But definitely a great spot for something to hide. Right under the nose of everybody that comes past. Beautiful, beautiful spot.